What's up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 236. 235? Oh, my bad. 235. Today is May 1st, 2010. It is 10:37 p.m. And anyway, today it's the end of, almost the end of May Day. I never did figure it out what the day May Day stood for. Do you have any idea what that stands for? I have no idea. But I want to congratulate people on making it through another day for May Day. Next thing I wanted to talk about was that, oh yeah, very interesting. For all you people out there who don't know who Stephen Hawking is, Stephen Hawking is an astronomer slash scientist slash genius slash, I don't even have other words to describe him, but Stephen Hawking, he's wheelchair bound. But anyway, he's one of the greatest minds of our, in the history of the world, as they say it, only because he's a genius. But anyways, he had made a statement a couple days ago saying about it is not a good idea to be trying to contact aliens. You know, for almost 30, 40 years, there's been the search for extraterrestrial entities, searching for extraterrestrial life. And you know, have you ever seen that movie Contact? That book that was based on a movie. Oh, a movie based on a book, by Carl Sagan. And the movie Contact dealt with the fact that the humans on Earth are trying to contact other civilizations out in the universe. But anyway, I found an interesting thing about that Stephen Hawking truly believed, and I tend to believe him because I have known who Stephen Hawking is ever since I was little, because I have always kept up what he always had to say. He's been famous not all his life, but maybe 20 years ago, he really came into the public eye. But anyway, he is convinced that there are 10,000 civilizations out in the universe, out in the galaxy, out to the final frontier, if you will. And then that's his estimate on what he believes is alien civilization. But then Carl Sagan, the author of the book Contact, also a fellow scientist slash astronomer slash author slash genius also, he has estimated there are 1 million alien civilizations out there. And then Stephen Hawking counters that it's not a good idea to be trying to contact alien ETs, for example. And here's my idea about this whole thing. You know how illegal Arizona has passed an illegal immigration bill it's totally anti-illegal immigrant racial profiling, but it's a new immigration law stating that you gotta have proper credentials and establishing your identity, and the police have a right to ask you who you are, and basically it's a bunch of fucking nonsense. But anyways, it's basically illegal aliens, what the whole thing is about. So what I gotta say, Stephen Hawking didn't take into account that there's one alien race right here on Earth that is not considered a real alien species, but yet again they're aliens. So I thought that's pretty funny. Another thing that Stephen Hawking is convinced that there's theoretically possible time travel can be possible. Time travel, he says, are wormhole time tunnels that exist everywhere that surrounds us. But here's the thing: the wormhole time tunnels are only open a billion trillionths of a centimeter wide. So it's impossible to go into back in time, only because supposedly the wormhole time tunnel is not big enough. So I like to think that's true, because if Stephen Hawking thinks it's true, then I think it's true.
We've done it.
Yes, we have. Not lately. Early in our upbringing. But if you people have any examples of wormhole time travels, go ahead and feel free to write to us. Also, Stephen Hawking is convinced that one of the moons of Jupiter, the name of the moon is called Europa. It has a lot of water. Apparently, it's a very huge sea is under Europa. And anyway, he thinks that there might be aquatic life forms that are alien, which of course are aliens. But I would like to think if they are, then did you ever see Star Trek episode 2, or Attack of the Clones, where Ben Kenobi goes to that planet called Camino, and the whole place is full of water? I would like to think that's Europa. So Stephen Hawking rock. I know he's an invalid. I'm sorry I said that. He can't do nothing for himself, but his brain is out there, guys. So I have a lot of respect for him. So God bless Stephen Hawking. Okay, other news. For the first time in U.S. Navy history, women will be allowed to be on the U.S. submarines around the world. Currently, right now, there are no women serving on any U.S. submarine, only due to the fact that only men are allowed. But starting in the year 2012, I believe, women will be allowed to be serving on U.S. submarines in 2012, and people are saying it's a bad thing because there's a reason why they want women in the first place, because they can't be having this kind of sexual tension and whatnot, leads to or innuendo leads to tension, leads to real attraction, and then they lead up into the bedroom and blah blah. But apparently they think they can be professional enough that none of that stuff will happen. So hopefully it should be a good thing for all women who want to be on a submarine full of men. God bless them anyway. Okay, and then on a very sad note, I know I keep doing this, but in Cleveland, police found an 8-year-old boy hogtied with a shoelace tied around his neck, tied to a table while his mom was asleep. They arrested the mom and the dad, or they arrested the mom and the stepfather, but the 8-year-old boy was taken to the custody by the authorities. He's now safe and sound. But imagine that you're 8 years old, you're freaking hogtied with duct tape to a table, and you're hogtied with shoelaces tied around your neck, and you're 8 years old. So for the mother who did that, you're not a mother. You're a monster, and I hope you get whatever punishment the justice system will give you. Okay, then also on a sad note too, in China, for the past couple of weeks, there's been irrational, violent attacks on school children in China. No one knows why these attacks are happening, but they've been very recent. But most recently, there've been 3 attacks in 3 days. One of the attacks in China, a man stabbed 31 kids in a kindergarten class. That's one attack. And then here's another one. A man breaks a gate down at a elementary school in China with his motorcycle, runs into a classroom, has a hammer, starts hammering 5 of the students, and then he grabs 2 of the students, hammer himself, and then he set some gasoline on himself, and he set himself on fire while he has 2 kids on him. One of the teachers were able to wrestle the 2 kids away from him, and he burned himself to death in front of other students after he had attacked them with the hammer. So all I gotta say, don't send your kid to school in China. That's what happens. Ain't that horrible, people? Ain't that sick? All right. Okay, I got a couple of quotes. This guy, I have a quote attributed to a man named Bill Jordan. Uh, he says, "I hope you understand what you have done to my life for a simple piece of apparatus that will be junk in a couple of years." This is Bill Jordan. And Bill Jordan, a couple of days ago, was in a city, I don't know what city, but in a city in the U.S., and apparently, in front of some other people, he had an iPad. For you people who don't know what an iPad is, it's the evolutionary advancement of the iPad and iPhone. But anyways, they're very popular. I want one. I have a bunch of iPods. I love the iPods. They're the greatest thing. I want an iPad. But Bill Jordan was an owner of an iPad. But anyways, he had put his iPad into his business bag. A thief saw him put the iPad away, and a thief came up behind him and took off running with the bag. And in the process, while he was taking the bag with the iPad, the man's finger, Bill Jordan's finger, got stuck in some sort of chain or some sort of chain strap with the jacket and the thief. But anyway, the thief ended up ripping off the entire finger belonging to the man. So now the man, Bill Jordan, doesn't have a finger due to the fact that he was an owner of an iPad. And I'll repeat what he said to you. He said, "I hope you understand what you have done to my life for a simple piece of apparatus that will be junk in a couple of years." And I find that horrible just because, and here's the thing. What if you're the thief, you go home and you're totally excited that you ripped off someone's iPad, you're taking it out in the backpack or whatever it was in. And that's when you realize it's like a bloody finger, like the hitcher, like it's like a French fry. It gets like sitting there in the bag. But how would you feel? But I hope that guy burns in hell, because that's not very cool at all. So God bless Bill Jordan. Hopefully Steve Jobs, the CEO of Apple, will send him some couple of iPads and a bunch of applications. Okay, and then I have a quote attributed to a fucking idiot. He's a U.S. Senator from Arizona. Yes, I'm talking about John McCain. Anyways, he's a very staunch supporter of the immigration bill that recently passed a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago. And while he was on the Bill O'Reilly show, who I also hate, John McCain says, "If the drivers of cars with illegals in it, they are intentionally causing accidents on the freeway." What an ignorant piece of shit. That's all I gotta say about John McCain. And I think he's running up for a re-election pretty soon, I think. I'm not sure. But if he is, don't vote for him. Don't vote for John McCain. He's horrible news for us. He doesn't care what we do in terms of us fellow Arizonans, because he really doesn't care. Yeah, he's all on a power trip. Anyway, he's a rich motherfucker, and he just wants to rule the world. That's why he ran for president. So John McCain, you can suck my big dick, and you can suck it several times, because that's how much you suck. Okay, while on the subject of immigration, the new law has pissed off a lot of people around the country. People are calling Arizona the dumbest state in the union, which I tend to agree, because people like Jan Brewer and John McCain, who fucks it up for other people out here in Arizona. But anyways, people all over the country are boycotting Arizona. A lot of people are canceling their vacation. A lot of people are canceling the goal of their kids from out of state to attend the University of Arizona. The president said that he's been receiving calls saying originally they were going to send their son or daughter to U of A, now they're pulling out because they don't want their kids being taught in an environment that is supposedly a police state. Thanks to Jan Brewer and people like John McCain. But the boycotts are making an impact. Paul Rodriguez, a famous Hispanic comedian, he had canceled a show in Chandler tonight. He did it spur of the moment because he felt like Arizona is not worthy of getting his performance, and he's telling other people not to do the same thing, to boycott Arizona. And here's the thing that pisses me off. I am all for sporting events and all that, but Major League Baseball, MLB, they're planning to have their 2011 All-Star game in Phoenix. They are seriously considering not having the game in Phoenix next year because they are very pissed off. Because here's why. 30% of all Major League Baseball players in the Major League Baseball, 30% of them are born abroad. So that means 30% of all of the 100% of players in the MLB are born abroad. Out of those 30, 40 are Hispanic. So there's a very possible chance that the 2011 All-Star Game will not be held in Phoenix thanks to Jan Brewer. Dumb lady. And then the final thing I'm going to be talking about is something that it's been happening for a while. Off the coast of Venice, Louisiana, there was an oil spill from an oil pipe. It is bigger than Exxon Valdez oil spill. It is threatening the species of 100 different kind of species of fish, birds, and other wildlife. Venice, Louisiana is one of the richest seafood grounds in the world. 5,000 barrels or 200,000 gallons of oil is being poured out into the sea. And if you've seen the pictures, it's a miles wide oil slick, and it's reached ashore last night, and it's a purple black color. And a lot of fishermen off of Louisiana, they've been struggling since Katrina. Now they got to deal with this. So it's all Bush's fault because he left all these problems for Obama to inherit. And on a lighter note, one movie that I'm going to be very interested in that's coming out this summer is, of course, Iron Man 2, but also Predators. Predators is the 5th movie in the franchise of the Alien and Predators franchise movie series. But anyways, I wasn't too happy with the 4th one. I liked the 3rd one. The first one was called Alien vs. Predator. I did not like Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I thought it was silly and stupid. But hopefully this new one, it gets called Predator, being produced by Robert Rodriguez. He's all famous for making movies like Sin City and El Mariachi and From Dusk to Dawn, among others. That's it. I'm blank. It's been a long day. It's been a very long day. By the time you see this, it's mid-June, so by the time you see this, it's probably been a sweltering hot day. Probably reach 100, and I'm going to predict the date. I'm going to predict the temperature. On the day that you see this show, we'll find out if I'm correct. I am predicting the day that this show airs on public access in June, that the temperature will be 100, even. Alright, I'm out. I'm so sorry. It's been a whirlwind week. There's been huge deadlines over here at public access with these new events. Apparently now they want public access to move in with Channel 12, which is not a good idea. Leave things the way they should be. But hopefully after the closure is done with, we'll be back in June, and hopefully there won't be no more closures. That'll be great. You know, because always I did a sad somber episode a while back, not knowing we were going to be back in the air pretty soon. But anyway, I don't want to ever do another one because I went home and I cried like a baby. So okay, folks, later. One thing I want to talk about also before I leave is that Jan Brewer and John McCain can 69 each other for all I care. The Call Me Crazy Show. The Call